Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the Klownski podcast here at the Klownski studio. We have a really great guest today by Alex. Some of you might have seen him on Instagram, maybe a concert, maybe some movies. So I'm really happy to have him on board and give him a little interview. We'll learn a little bit about Alex, his kind of life story, where he's at, some of his future projects. So I'm really glad to have him on board and give you guys a little bit of insights of kind of where he's been, where he's going, what he's doing, and some of the community stuff that he's planning on doing. So Alex, welcome to the show. Little introduction, let people know who you are, what you're doing, and what some of your plans are. So let's get into first, because it's really intriguing for me. So, just watching you and your life story and some of the experiences you're going through or went through, and then some of the stuff you're currently doing right now. So I'm really impressed by some of the stuff you're doing. So go for it.
Thank you, brother. I'm happy to be here, bro. Thank you for having me. Really. For those of you guys that don't know, my name is Alexander. Friends call me Alex. I also go by Great Alex on Great_Alex9 is my Instagram. A lot of you guys may have seen some of my content. People know me from my grumpy skits and the stuff that I've done in that space. I'm an actor. I'm in the union. I've been acting in the film industry and working in the film industry for about 7 years now. And I love it. I'm just a creative in general. I do a little bit of everything these days. I'm rapping nowadays. I'm a recording artist and I'm performing artist. And yeah, I just have fun and embrace being a creative.
Yeah. I think, off camera, I kind of mentioned how I ran across your page and I was going through some things at the hospital and, I see Alex's skits and I see Grumpy and it was just like, it caught my attention and, it just made me laugh when I was in a very dark place. So I want to, give you thanks for that. But when I started kind of reading your story and looking into what you did and what you kind of went through and things like that, I was really inspired, by your story, and some of the stuff, that you're trying to portray out there and stuff like that. So with that being said, maybe let's get a little bit into, again, when you kind of first started and what got you in trouble and, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, I got arrested when I was 16. I was tried as an adult. I got arrested for armed robbery, and I was sentenced to 12 years in prison. I did 11 years out of those 12, so I wasn't, on my best behavior the entire time I was in there, but I managed to make it home, especially from a space where I didn't know if I was ever gonna make it home.
Yeah.
I managed to make it home, and now I've managed to build a beautiful career. I'm starting to really embrace what I've created, and being able to share it with the world has been an incredible experience. Like you said, it helped you in a dark space, and that's what I didn't realize when I was starting doing this type of content or creating this type of art, is how many people it was gonna help or how many people it was gonna impact. I had a lot of people that were reaching out to me when they seen these prison style skits or these grumpy character, or these people that were I was portraying in these skits or that I've been portraying in these skits, and one comment that has stood out to me over the time I've been doing this, one guy, I still don't remember who it was. It was just a comment that I had read because there's so many, but it will always stick in my memory because he's like, man, I just got out, and there's been a lot of times where I don't know what to say to people, or like I feel like nobody understands me or what I've gone through or what I've been through, and seeing the content that I'm putting out, it's like, man, I feel seen, because I get that feeling. I didn't put out the prison content for a long time because I didn't want to live in that space mentally, and go back there, mentally. I didn't want to go there. I wasn't ready, and I've done a lot of healing over the years. I've been out for about 7 years now, going on 8 years now, and I've done a lot of healing, and I'm at a space in my life where I'm able to relive these scenarios, go back to these spaces mentally, and laugh about them now, and we get to laugh together. Everybody that has been through some sort of struggle that they can relate to from the content, it's like, man, we can look at it and we can laugh.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the reasons why you intrigued me, when I started kind of reading about you and stuff like that, and then kind of like I said, well, like you're saying, like you're touching people's, hearts and stuff like that, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's needed out there, especially those that do come out of these prisons and want a second chance and that have rehabbed and stuff like that. We know the prison system's all jacked up, but with rehab, or like they're trying to rehab the people, so they need help, when they come out. So we do a lot of work at the Klownski level, like with the homeless and stuff like that. So I know how important it is to help one another, and be that mentor, and so like our foundation, we're just trying to reach out to the youth and try to give them a creative space. They can come, they can grab a guitar, they can do whatever, paint, do whatever, just get their minds off, things like that. But when people like you come around and you're able to inspire some of these younger generations, like that's where the value's at. And I think that's where we definitely, we see that positivity and that change where we can help somebody like that not get into those troubles. So again, just appreciate, you and for being here and sharing your story. It's like I said, to me, it's very inspiring, What are some of the things that like what would be something you would tell a little youngster that's out there, kind of think twice before doing something, or something more positive, in a more positive manner, so they don't get into that trouble? What would be like that message you would give out?
Yeah, man, there's so many things that I would say to the younger generation. There's so many life lessons that I could go and dive into, and tell them, like, hey, don't do this or don't do that, but I would just say, like, that there's so much more to life that you don't even know is out there right now, One thing that I realized when I came home from prison was that the world is massive. It's so much bigger than I had even imagined, and I grew up like closer to the Long Beach area, and I didn't even realize how big LA was, just Los Angeles, the city. And coming home and seeing it, and I'm like, damn, this was here. All this was here this whole time. And I would just say, just don't let yourself get trapped in a bubble, Don't stick in that one spot. Don't stay in that one space, because the world is big and it's beautiful, and there's so much to experience in this life, and so go out and experience it. That would be my message to them, to go out and experience life other than what's just right in front of you. You can go places, you can do things, and you can pursue your dreams. There's nothing in this world. I'm a big believer that there's nothing in this world that we cannot do if we put our minds to it. We can be anything. Literally, we can be anything, and any kid out there that has a dream, they can do it, They just really have to want it.
Something we did kind of talk about off camera as well was mental health, again, with our foundation and our outreaches, when we do stuff, especially in Skid Row, we see a lot of mental illness out there, very little help. What are some of the things that so two things. One, experience kind of with mental health, and then what do you think's missing out there that we can do as a kind of society to kind of help with that mental illness?
Well, for me, you know, mental illnesses and mental health issues is something that I've always struggled with. You know, I've always had wild thoughts. I've had you know, suicidal ideations. You know, things like that. You know, I can go from hot to cold. You know, whatever. You know, whatever it is. You know, it's our circumstances and the things that we go through in life also they play a massive role in how we're feeling or how we express ourselves in the world, you know. And understanding this, it helps a lot. Just understanding your own mental struggles and understanding and acknowledging the things that you have a hard time with, you know. It's not easy, you know, growing up in a rough environment and keeping a positive mindset. It's not easy to hold all this pain, hold all this hurt, you know. Like I tried to commit suicide when I was, I think for the first time when I was 13. Well, actually, I wouldn't say the first time, the only time. Thank God I never tried again. And I, you know, by the grace of God, it didn't end up working out. It didn't happen, you know, but I spent many years wanting to die, you know, in prison, and something told me that I could never do it, you know, that I never wanted to do it. And I thank God for that, whatever that thought was that said don't do it, you know. As much as I wanted it to be all over, I wanted all the pain to end, and I wanted it to just be finished. I had enough strength somewhere deep inside of me that said just keep holding on, you know. And I think one of the biggest things that we can, one of the biggest and one of the simplest things that we can do, you know, is let people know that they're not alone in these thoughts, in these feelings and stuff, because a lot more people than we know have these feelings or have gone through these things, you know, and I think when we're in these head spaces and these mental spaces that are dark and they hurt and they're painful, it's like yes, it's a mental thing, but there's a physical pain that comes with it, you know. It's like and it's so hard to comprehend. It's like we're in this mental space and we feel the most alone that we've ever felt in our lives, and we could be surrounded by thousands of people and you still feel very, very alone. And understanding that you're not alone is what can really be a massive help, you know, to people. Yeah.
Well, admiration for one, and thank God you didn't,
Yeah,
because you are doing some amazing stuff. Just even this, you know, I know it's probably difficult to talk about, and you know, I've dealt with a lot of people that, you know, struggle, you know, with even reaching out, you know, or talking about it. You know, unfortunately, we've lost several people. You know, I've lost several people for, you know, suicide, you know, and I don't know if it's today's temperature, I don't know if it's social media, you know, I know there's a lot of bullying and stuff like that, but it's a different environment nowadays, you know, and we just got to reach out to these, and that's one of the reasons why we started this space, you know, is to try to get them out of that, you know, and hopefully come pick up a brush or pick up an instrument and to do something, you know, and try to help them, you know, in kind of that manner. So yeah, just, you know, thank you for it not happening, you know, and being here. So I don't know, whatever happened or how we met or how we crossed paths or whatever it was, like, you're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, and spending some time with me and relaying some of that stuff, you know, especially, you know, in front of a camera, it's like, you know, I know it's pretty tough. So, what do you think, like, you know, you said 13 years old, 14, 13?
I think 13, yeah.
13 years, as a 13-year-old, what do you think was kind of, or what do you think would have helped? Well, would it have been like somebody there to talk to or reach out to, or maybe even like when you were, you know, in prison or whatever? What do you feel like resource wise? Is it like picking up the phone and just being scared of talking to someone, or?
I think that's the picking up the phone or even talking to people in general is like kind of it's a hard sell.
Yeah.
When it comes to mental health.
Yeah.
Because the environment we come from, and for some reason, like we don't.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk to people.
Yeah.
We don't want to reach out. We don't want to bring it to the light, essentially, you know?
Yeah.
Because we're holding it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us don't want to even, we're probably ashamed of how we're feeling.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of shame. You know I was ashamed for a long time, you know, of what I was feeling. I felt like I was unloved. When you feel unloved, you feel like, who would even want to hear it, you know? And so I think it falls more on the responsibility of the people that have reached a certain level of healing to reach out, create spaces where conversations can be had that bring these things to the light, where it's a safe space that these things can be brought to the light naturally, rather than being like, hey, like, yes, not to say that the hotlines and stuff like that aren't helpful, because they're beautiful, you know, and it's a great space, and I know that they've probably saved countless lives.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a lot of people that have probably gone down in that dark space that weren't willing to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And call.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's just reaching out to your friends, reaching out to your loved ones, you know, reaching out to them and checking on each other, you know, for those of us that are strong enough today. Yeah. Today, because like I say today because today I'm strong enough, you know, to come here and do an interview, you know, or today, you know, like I'm well enough to do this, you know, but like there's been days, like, man, there's been days in the past month, like even this morning was kind of rough for me, you know, but like some days I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
You know, and that can go from one day to the next. One day I'm like, man, I got your back today.
Yeah.
I can help you today. And some days it's like, man, I need help.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and I don't want to call nobody.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to don't come knocking on my door, you know, and that's where it's rough. And that's where it's kind of the gray area is, because that's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I probably need somebody. That's probably the time that I need somebody even more to come and knock on my door.
Yeah.
Like man, I probably needed this interview more than, you know, anybody else, you know, just to get myself out of the house.
Yeah.
You know? And that's just, you know, just pretty much just being there for each other.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, with that being said, Alex, we're going to take a really quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to get back to the interview. So once again, this is Alex. Alex, is it Alex the Great or Great Alex? This is a Great Alex, right?
Great Alex on
Great
social
Alex,
media.
Social media. So, so just hold on, and we're gonna get part 2 in, and stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, homie? It's the homie Grumpy right here, homie. I just wanna let you fools know, homie. There's a lot of fools out there, you know, that be going through some things, homie. We'll be going through things, homie. And it's okay, fool. I just want to say, check on your homies, son. Check on the homies and make sure they're firme, homie. Because you never know what somebody could be going through at any time or anything, homie. Fools be like, nah, I'm firme, homie. But at the end of the day, homie, probably not that firme, homie. So check on your people, homie, and let them know that shit's okay, homie. Ashe, man. And you fools stay trucha out there, homie. Stay out of here. Stay right here, homie. Ashe, man, fool.
All right, guys, we're back with Alex, the great Alex the Great. Jeez, man. So, that was some good stuff, Alex. Very touching stuff, you know, hit home for sure. I hope it does reach the right people. You know, if they're out there, seek the help. Check on your young ones, even though they have a smile on their faces. Check up on them. You know, make sure they're okay, you know, just be there. I'll open up, talk to them as much as you can, especially the young ones. You know, I have a 16-year-old and I have a 14-year-old, and they're in an age where, you know, they're vulnerable. So I think it's very, very important that we sit down and talk to them and give them the resources and make sure they're okay. And I remind them every day, even though they say, no, Dad, I'm all right. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, check on them, you know, make sure, you know, that they're doing well. So, all right. Well, we got the life story. We've got, you know, some of your mental health experiences. Hopefully, you know, get some, you know, message out to the people. Now let's get into some of the funner stuff that you're doing. Totally love all your skits, everything you do on your social media. Mm-hmm. You know, we do, or you do the grumps. You know, you do a lot of the little skits. You get different ones. You know, you got to go check out the page and check it out. Some of it could be 18 and over. You know, just whatever. But you audience can control some of that stuff. I think they have the teen flags now, so I don't know if they can. But anyways, go check out some of the episodes on Alex's Instagram page, and you can even find more detail on some of his life stories. So he has several episodes or interviews. So with that being said, do you have handles? Do you just have Instagram?
My Instagram handle is great_Alex_9, and it's mostly the same on all platforms, I believe.
Okay.
Other than, like, if you're looking for music, my music is just under my name, Alexander Gibson.
Okay.
But,
It's not Gibson, the guitar?
Yeah.
You're related?
Like, I got the Gibson guitar.
Nice. Oh, and you do play that. Yeah. You do play music.
I don't play it. I don't play any instruments, but I sing. And And I had a guitar from when I was in prison. And I never got a chance to learn it because I got moved to Pelican Bay and they don't allow you to have the guitar.
Oh, wow.
There, so I had to send it back home.
All right, so that perfect segue. So, all right, music wise, let's start with the music. So, so you grabbed the guitar, maybe did a little bit of it in prison or before?
In prison.
In prison.
Prison. Well, in prison was like the beginning. I always loved music. I always loved to sing. I sang as a kid.
Oh, I see it on social media. You have a pretty good voice.
So thank you. Yeah. So I would sing as a kid. You know, I did karaoke. I started doing karaoke when I was really, really little.
Yeah.
And when I got to prison, I started doing. I've talked about this in a few interviews, but we would do a thing called the late night, where we would take like song requests and we would take turns singing on the tier. And just sharing, you know, in the music with people. But it was really there is when those homies convinced me to start playing with writing my own music.
Yeah.
And I've always had a strong love for country music.
Nice.
I started writing country music.
Nice,
and,
dude.
And then, you know, I progressed all these years forward. I tried to learn the guitar. It didn't end up happening. I lost it. They took it away from me. I never got to do that. But all these years flash forward. Now I've been surrounded by people that are creatives of all different kinds. And a couple of the homies on the team, the homie Lyrics and the homie Mars are two of our artists that are more catered to the rap side and the musical side. As most of us on our team from the streets to the set are actors, but these guys really have embraced their music and really started pushing me like, hey bro, like start do music, like get in there, because they've always known I could sing, and so I just started getting in the studio with them, and we've put out a few songs together. We have a album coming out, a collaborative album called Big Steppers, and we've been doing shows. Last night I had the pleasure of opening up for RJ Mr. LA and Phoenix Flexin'.
Nice.
My second show I got to open up for Shoreline Mafia.
Nice.
Saturday night we opened up for Sugar Free.
Wow,
dude. We've been I've been super blessed, and that I think it's like one of those things, like time. Time is everything. Whenever the time is right is when it's right. And I've built this following on social media through these comedy skits and having fun doing that, and that has opened a lot of doors for me in the music industry.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
See, that's another inspiring story. I'm telling you, Alex got all kinds of arms out there, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, so that's cool. So how about any future shows? Do you have future shows coming up, or
future shows? Yes, we have a few shows that are we're in the talks about. I know one show we're going to be doing is March 7th, and I think there's a flyer on my page that we're going to be doing. Also, that one's more going to be they're funding for a community event, which is really nice, and you can look into that because they're going to throw another event in the spring, and I think it's for I don't want to say. I don't want to be wrong, but I believe it's for autism awareness.
Oh, okay.
So that's awesome, like to be involved with a project like that.
Yeah.
And then I have a personal project that we are dropping the album for the Big Steppers album. That's more of a less community friendly project, but we are doing that on February 21st.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. All right, well, we're gonna kind of close it out. So I want to make sure the audience has everything they need to like follow you. Like I said, if you haven't followed or haven't seen, I mean, he's pretty popular on social media. But if you haven't, go check out his pages. The skits are just hilarious. They're funny. Almost every single one of them cracks me up. And it's funny because they pop up every darn morning. Every time I wake up, it's like, bam, Alex, and it's just that.
I love it.
Funniest skits, man. Just like laughing all morning long just watching these skits, and I'm always commenting on there or whatever, all the smiley faces or whatever. But man, those things are super funny. So we're gonna go ahead and but that's basically it, right? Oh no, you're acting. You got some acting. Let's get a little bit of acting, and then we'll close it out.
Yeah. Honestly, the acting is really what kickstarted it all for me. I started acting once I came home from prison. I fell in with my team and my manager. My manager, Bernice Molina, she started a company called From the Streets to the Set. And she got me on my first background acting gig.
Nice.
And that was on SWAT on CBS.
Yeah.
And pretty much the rest was history. I ended up started doing more background stuff, and then I started getting auditions. Audition here, some of them, like just to be given the opportunity to audition as like an upcoming actor is a win. Even if you don't get cast in the project, it's still a win because auditions are pretty hard to come by. And then I started getting auditions, and then shortly after I started landing the auditions, I started landing the roles, and I've been blessed to have a couple movies. I have a movie, I've been in 3 films so far. One is, 2 of them are currently out. One is called Horchata with Oat Milk.
Okay.
And that was an independent film that has some really other heavy hitters in the comedy world right now that are on doing their things right now. Concrete, Duno, Jay Valentino, Anthony Fernandez, and just it was just a heavy hitter cast. So that one's out right now. People can watch that. And then I was cast in a project called Die Like a Man, which is more of a Cholo style film, but it's more dramatic and a really deep message. Really plays into the telling the stories of the struggles of a young man coming up in the environments that we grew up with and the struggles that they're faced with. So it's a really beautiful telling of these struggles. It's called Die Like a Man, and it's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, everywhere. And then I have another film called Splash City that's currently in post-production, and hopefully will be being released in 2026. I don't know, fingers crossed, I don't know.
Nice.
And then the role that got me flipped into the union was a TV series called The Curse, where I play a suburban, husband kind of guy. Me and my fiance are on this TV series with Emma Stone, Nathan Fielder, and Benny Safdie, and that was really the project that was like, man, okay, this is real, and I may have something here, And I made it into the union for that, and then everything else is just kind of culminated from all of that, And I've really just been embracing every arm, as you say, of my artistic side and abilities, that I can use, to express myself.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I can't even give you enough thanks, appreciation, inspiration. Like, your story for me is just like I've said, I'm gonna say it many times. Like, it's very, very inspiring. I hope it does inspire people that do watch this episode and really help them move. Not only on just the full story. You got from the beginning where you're struggling mentally to getting some help before you make those mistakes in life, to your rapping career, to hopefully get the country going, because dang, that's gonna be a good one, man. I would love to hear that.
That is gonna be something very special. That's probably one of the biggest things that I hold dearest to my heart, and I can't wait to be able to share that with the world. Nice.
And then to your music career, so everything, and my hopes, and I pray that we do more collabs for the community, and we get our voices out, and we help some of these youths, maybe some speaking to some of these youth, some troubled youth or whatever it is. And I'm really, really excited to work with you, Alex. So thank you for being on the show and connecting, and hope to see you soon, man.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you having me, bro. And I'm excited to see what we do. I really am, bro.
Cool. Thank you. See you guys on the next episode of the Klownski podcast. All right, guys? I'm going to be putting all the information on the comments. So if you missed any of it, you can rewatch the episode, or all the handles will be on the comment section. So hope you guys have a good day.